Nazi scum off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets!
Look at all of the men who are intimidating women on National Women's Day.
A woman is an adult human female. No man can ever be a woman. And we will never be okay with men in female changing rooms.
When did universities transform from bastions of debate into battlegrounds where ANTIFA can physically attack students for expressing biological facts?
Off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets!
You're really intimidating, really scared.
Off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets! Nazi scum!
Keep men out of female
Nazi scum off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets! Nazi scum! Nazi scum off our streets!
out of female changing rooms.
Off our streets! Nazi scum!
This shocking incident at the University of East Anglia has exposed a dangerous precedent. A group of ordinary students, much like the people you know in your life, were assaulted for displaying a banner with just 5 words. There are only 2 genders. Their story of standing firm against overwhelming odds isn't just inspiring, it's a warning about what happens when we allow mob rule to silence basic truths. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video.
Station is here at the UEA Sports Park on the 3rd of May at 1 p.m. We will be here and we will be fighting against men in female changing rooms.
Women want to be safe, and you're calling them Nazi scum because they don't want men in their changing rooms. And this load of masked up weirdo bullies.
Picture this, a small group of university students standing nervously with a banner that simply states, "There are only 2 genders." These aren't hardened political activists or seasoned protesters. They're just ordinary students from the University of East Anglia who formed a group called Students Against Tyranny to defend what they see as biological facts in an increasingly hostile academic environment. What happened next should concern anyone who values free speech on our university campuses. These students didn't arrive with weapons or wearing masks. They weren't hurling insults or threatening anyone. They were simply exercising their right to express a view that, until very recently, would have been considered utterly uncontroversial.
So today we're outside the UEA, where we've gone in, a group of us have gone in, a few of them are left now. We've gone in, and we've gone up on the megaphone and rolls our banner and said, on International Women's Day, I know what a woman is. It's an adult human female. And no matter what, we are going to be here to stop men from going into female change rooms and stop businesses that encourage it.
Yet for daring to display this message, they found themselves facing something that looks disturbingly like a mob. The footage from that day shows a peaceful demonstration transform into chaos within minutes. As soon as word spread about the banner, ANTIFA members descended on the scene with shocking speed and aggression. What's particularly disturbing is how quickly the ANTIFA protesters outnumbered these students, surrounding them in an intimidating circle that closed in with each passing minute. "Nazi scum off our streets," the masked protesters chanted, their faces concealed as they hurled this accusation at students whose crime was stating there are 2 genders. The irony shouldn't be lost on anyone. Anonymous figures in masks labelling others as fascists while using intimidation tactics themselves. The disproportion is striking. On one side, a handful of students with visible faces standing by their banner with no means of defence. On the other, dozens of masked ANTIFA members, growing increasingly aggressive, seemingly empowered by their numerical advantage. It's difficult to imagine the fear these students must have felt, suddenly finding themselves surrounded and vastly outnumbered. What's captured in the video is more than just a heated disagreement. We see physical intimidation in action, pushing, shoving, aggressive lunging toward the students. At several points, ANTIFA members made determined attempts to tear down the banner, physically grabbing at it while the students desperately tried to maintain their grip. This wasn't debate or counter-protest. It was physical confrontation designed to silence. Perhaps equally concerning is what we don't see in the footage: effective intervention from university security. Where were the people responsible for maintaining safety on campus? The students found themselves essentially abandoned to face a growing mob, with inadequate protection, despite the clear escalation of the situation. This raises serious questions about whether universities are equally protecting all students' rights to express their views, or whether certain perspectives receive less protection than others. As the confrontation intensified, these students faced a critical choice that would define the entire incident: stand their ground despite physical threats, or flee and abandon their right to express their view. It was a moment of truth that tested not just their conviction, but their courage. Despite being surrounded, despite the pushing and shoving, despite the aggressive chants labelling them as Nazis, these ordinary students chose to stand firm, even as ANTIFA members physically attempted to tear away their banner. They held on, refusing to be intimidated into silence. This wasn't recklessness, you can see the fear in their faces on the video, but rather a principled decision that their right to express a view about biological reality was worth defending, even at personal risk. What's particularly chilling about this incident is how it reveals what can happen when stating basic biological facts becomes treated as a form of hate speech, deserving of violent response. These students weren't advocating for any policy changes or calling for anyone's rights to be removed. They were simply asserting what had been scientific consensus throughout human history until very recently. What we've witnessed isn't an isolated incident, but a worrying trend across British universities. Recent statistics reveal that 60% of students feel unable to express their views freely on campus for fear of backlash. The climate of intimidation is spreading, with free speech suppression cases rising according to multiple academic freedom organisations. The courage displayed by these ordinary students should serve as both inspiration and warning bell about the deteriorating state of intellectual discourse in our universities. Their willingness to stand firm represents the resistance many students wish they could show, but fear the consequences. If you believe in protecting the fundamental right to express biological realities without facing violence, there are concrete ways to help. You can support Students Against Tyranny and similar groups through donations to organisations championing academic freedom, participating in campaigns defending free speech rights, and engaging in conversations that highlight the importance of open expression on campus. This isn't just about gender, it's about preserving the very purpose of universities as spaces where ideas can be debated without fear of physical retribution.